Marhaban, welcome back. All right, we have one final thing to learn, and this is a pronunciation issue. So we're not actually going to learn any new symbols. That's probably good news, but this is going to be important for pronunciation. Now, this is something really not to stress about. This is something that really takes time and practice in getting your pronunciation correct. So don't go out and try and memorize this. If you're going to memorize things, there's a lot more stuff in Arabic you could memorize than this. But just be aware of the concept. Now, you may note that you sometimes, when you see Arabic words transliterated into English, they're sometimes translated differently. Sometimes you'll see words that have the al in front of them, and then sometimes it'll be like as or ash. Well, this is what we're going to explain today. So we're going to be talking about the pronunciation of the definite article, the al, which we learned earlier. Okay, this, when we put this onto a word, it was the. So bait, el-bait, kelb, el-kelb, and so forth. Okay, and it attached directly on. Now, there is a bit of a variation in pronunciation, and this is what we're going to learn right now. So Arabic has two different kinds of letters in terms of the pronunciation of this. And again, mind you, this is only talking about a word that has this al on the front of it. These are what are known as sun and moon letters. And the good news is that in English, just like in Arabic, the sounds are going to help us here. So sun in Arabic is shams, and these are letters that are called shamsi. These are basically letters that are made in the front of the mouth. So it's going to include all of our S sounds, which we know we have a bunch. We have seen, we have sheen, okay? We have sod, all right? We have sod's partner, dod. You all also know the four non-connectors. They were all made in the front of the mouth. The dal, the thal, the ra, the za. Okay, all of these letters are in the front of the mouth. Another one that's up in the front is the noon. Okay, and then all of our T sounds. T is up in the front of the mouth, and we have quite a few of those. We have ta, we have tha, we have ta, we have the. And the final one is lam itself. La, la. All of these are made in the front of the mouth. So again, don't memorize these. Just get a basic idea. It's the S sounds, the T sounds, the D sounds, the Ra sounds, right? And the noon and the lam, but all the sounds that are made in the front of the mouth. Now, what happens to those sounds? Let's say I have a word with one of these letters, and I'm going to pick the word nur. Okay, nur meaning light. Okay, now this looks like this should be pronounced al-nur, and you would sometimes in English see it written that way. It's not pronounced that way, and part of this is because going from a lam to an n sound is somewhat difficult. So what happens is this letter absorbs the lam, the L sound, and it goes away. And actually this is doubled. So sometimes they will put a shedda here to indicate that this is doubled in pronunciation. A lot of times it's not written. It's just understood when you see this, you don't pronounce it as al-nur, but you would pronounce it as an-nur, an-nur. Now, why are these called sun letters? Because the word for sun in Arabic is shams. Shams. Shams is one of our sun letters. If I want to say the sun, it looks like al-shams. But you notice how awkward that is to say al-shams, al-shams? So what happens again is this lam is not pronounced. The short vowel here is, and this is essentially doubled, so this becomes ash-shams, ash-shams, an-nur, okay, a-ta'ira, okay, ad-dars, and so forth. Okay, those are our sun letters. The moon letters are everything else. They are pronounced the way that they are written. Now, these are sounds that are typically deeper in the throat. Letters like ein, rein, chaf, okay, ha, that are deeper here. And those, of course, it would be hard to pronounce something like that. So, let's take a word with one of those, like this one. It has an ein. This word actually is ein. Okay, but I'm not going to elide it the way I have here, like ein. That would be really hard to say. So this is el ein. Okay, el rabah, el jama'a. Any other letter that's not one of these, you pronounce the al. You pronounce it just like it's written. So this is why sometimes you may see, for example, a name. The former president of Egypt was Muhammad as-Sadat. Sometimes you see in English his name written like this. Sometimes you see his name written like that. Which one is correct? Well, it depends. Are you trying to represent the letters? Because it is that letter, but it's pronounced this way. So his name would be written with a lam, but it's as-Sadat. Again, I want to stress the fact that this is a pronunciation thing that you will get in time. If you say el-Nur, el-Shams, el-Sayara, people will understand what you mean. It just sounds weird, and it's kind of hard to do. And so this is a fairly natural thing. If it sounds more natural to say as-Sayara versus el-Sayara versus el-Ain instead of a-Ain, which would be hard. Okay? So these are our sun and our moon letters. Okay? Just something to remember as you are learning to pronounce. Okay, shukran jazilan.